Hi again then guys, and welcome to another Le Mans spec tune setup for another prototype in the game. This time though not a Group C car, but a modern LMP1, of course the Peugeot 908, one of the absolute fastest LMP cars in the game. I think it's actually the fastest one I own, certainly of the real ones, not including the Vision GTs. Now this setup is in its tuned form, with increased power and decreased weight, and of course that will give you, in pretty much any car's case, the best possible lap, with very few exceptions. However, you can still use this tune in its essential form without any upgrades at all. So it is balance of performance friendly, but this is basically showing what it can do if you do choose to upgrade it. Now, of course, if you don't upgrade it, take off a couple of seconds. You're looking at, I don't know, maybe a 258 lap, perhaps, maybe a little bit lower, probably a little bit quicker than that actually, but that kind of thing. So as far as the traction control, I've got that turned off completely. Of course, that'll depend driver to driver. As far as tyres, even though it is fully tuned, I haven't even gone for sports softs. So around Le Mans, you could probably cut off another couple of seconds with sports softs, but I left it on hards just to show what it's capable of. As far as the suspension, we've got the ride height on 80mm on the front, 90mm on the back. As far as the frequency, I've got that on 4, anti-roll bars on 5, compression on the dampers on 57, then 84 on the rebound, neutral camber, perhaps surprisingly. Sometimes I'll go for 1 degree, but on this one I wanted it to have maximum tyre contact to put all of that massive torque down. Plus, actually, the handling is very good, even with its fully tuned power and torque. Neutral toe, as we usually have. Of course, the downforce is as low as possible because you want that monster top speed. And again, you will be surprised by how good the handling is. You don't necessarily need a huge amount of downforce, because even on its lowest setting, it's still got quite a bit. Now, if you do go on a more technical circuit, like Maggiore, for instance, then you will want to increase that, of course. But at Le Mans, it's a different scenario, of course, because half the track is basically one long straight. As far as the diff, of course, that makes a huge difference to any prototype. I've gone for the lowest initial torque and then the highest settings for both acceleration and braking. Of course, different people have different preferences, but I would recommend trying that. And as far as the gearbox, again, of course, that will depend very strongly on how heavily you tune it. But if you do choose to have a higher level of power in particular, I've got an auto setting of 249, then individual gears of 222, 1.7, 1325, 1075, 0.9 and 0.76, and then a final drive of 2.55. And that's good enough to get the car up to 271 miles per hour. And you can make it go even quicker, for sure. If you raise the front suspension a little bit and drop the back, you could probably get it to maybe 272, maybe even 273, and if you give it sports soft tyres, you could probably increase it a little bit more again. So you're looking at probably around 274, maybe 275 miles per hour if you really optimize it for top speed, but I wouldn't recommend that because you will lose a little bit of stability in handling. But that's it for the tune. Now, of course, you want to know what it looks like in action. So, let's find out. Now, as I said, of course, this tune and the kind of lap times that you can get at Le Mans, either with or without chicanes, will vary a lot depending on how heavily you upgrade the power in particular, but of course the weight as well. The power makes all the difference on the straights, the weight makes a huge difference through the corners, and of course combined you can maximise the car's ability. Now, I expected this to be the absolute fastest of all of my prototypes, but actually it isn't, and anyone who follows me on the community already will see my other replay at Le Mans, which was for the Audi R18, both of which I didn't realise, but a subscriber told me were both on the trending page actually for the replays, which was pretty cool. But the Audi R18 was even quicker, despite the fact that the top speed is fractionally slower, around 268. So I will be doing a tune for that one as well. That Audi can get around in 2 minutes 46 seconds, and that's with racing hards and an automatic gearbox using a controller. So if you do use a wheel, manual, you could definitely take it even faster. And likewise with this car, you can get around in 2 minutes and 48 seconds, again on hard tyres with a controller and an automatic gearbox, because I'm just plain lazy. So if you can do that kind of lap even with my setup, then of course if you slap it on soft tyres, or even if you don't, even if you just do manual and use a wheel, for instance, which is more often than not quicker, especially once you get used to it, then you could probably cut it down to maybe a 243, possibly a 242 lap, and I'm sure there are certain drivers who could go even quicker for sure. That's the way the game works. However, it's a monster of a car. If you do choose to use it in a balance of performance kind of way, then it will still give you great laps, but of course they won't be quite as quick as this, because you won't have that kind of power and weight advantage. But overall, I hope you enjoy the tune. It's a ton of fun. And that's it. So you can click through here at the end to see other tunes like this, and stick around on the channel for more. But for now, as always, thanks for watching.